Scammers steal billions of dollars from Americans every year. NBC10 Responds has told you many times how the different ones work and how to avoid them.
The scammers can target individuals, usually using what they see on social media, and the next thing you know, the victim is handing over their money. The story you're about to hear has a few twists, combining a couple different scams. The victim is sharing his issue so you don't become a victim. Here's NBC's Tracy Davidson.
Little did Joe Subak know that one call would change his financial life. When Joe was having trouble sending money to a friend through the Apple Pay app, he did what many of us do. He searched online for the company's customer service number. What Joe didn't know is the number he found was a phony, a fake used by scammers to make him think he was calling the legit company. Here's how Joe tells us it played.
The lady answered and said, "Good morning, I'm Daisy from Apple. How can I help you?"
Joe says Daisy asked him his name and then put him on hold.
And she came back and she said, "You have a red mark next to your account that you've been hacked and your identity theft has been compromised."
Daisy began by telling Joe he had to get ahead of the hackers. She directed him to buy gift cards at various locations around where he lives. Then she told him to scratch off the back and send her the numbers. And she had some instructions in case a store employee started wondering what Joe was doing.
She said, "Joe, if they ask you, any questions, just tell them, that you're buying it for a friend or something like that."
Daisy told Joe all of this was going to help with the process to protect his money.
And Daisy wanted to protect all of Joe's money. And by protect, I mean take. So she ramped up the scam, making Joe believe that they were in a relationship.
Over the course of months, Joe says Daisy became his almost constant phone companion.
And she said, "We have to monitor your phone 24/7. And so her number was scrolling at the top of my phone the whole time.
She sent him these messages, and they became close, talking every day, even cooking together.
So we would go through, I'd cut up vegetables and send her pictures, and we would cook together in the evening.
He was on the hook for Daisy's next ask.
So, she asked, "What do you have?" And I told her I have gold and silver with Equity Trust Company.
Joe says he then did what she told him to do, getting all of his gold and silver out of the depository, valued at $780,000. Here's where the next twist comes in. Joe was told to wait at his house for someone to pick up the precious metals. He's seen here in his doorbell camera.
She would tell me, "Okay, the guy's coming, he's in a gray SUV or something, whatever," and they would pull out in front of the house. A couple of them come in the driveway.
Joe loaded his gold and silver into the back of the car. The person driving probably wasn't Daisy, but a person known as a money mule.
So we look at the money mule dynamic in two different buckets.
Nicole Sinigar is the FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge in Philadelphia. She says some money mules know exactly what they're doing, and they take a cut of the money for getting the money back to the scammer. In other cases, the mule might also be a victim. Senigar says Joe's case isn't typical, as it moved from a basic financial scam to a romance scam to one where someone actually showed up at his home.
This is a very unique dynamic where at the onset the individual is offering to protect the assets, but just as with any other scam, the person needs to be very, very aware that there's no other individual or institution that can protect their finances or assets like themselves.
Joe reported what happened to him to police. No arrests have been made. In all, Joe handed over more than $1 million.
And I worked 43 hard years for that,
Joe got wise to Daisy when he was out of money and Daisy stopped calling. That's why he wants to warn others.
If I can get the word out, and if one person I can stop from falling into something like this.
Tracy Davidson, NBC10 Responds.
So here are the keys to protecting yourself. When looking for a number online, make sure you are going to the actual company's website. No one can protect your money better than you can. If you have any questions, go to your bank or financial institution, and never meet a stranger to hand over money or valuables. Our heart goes out to him. So unfortunate. Yeah.